Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to break down the first week here of January in the initial event that's actually going to be starting for the January festivities here, being Miss Marvel Classic. This is actually going to be her free-to-play event that's embedded into this event, but more importantly, if you guys haven't checked out my blog review video yesterday, this actual month is going to be tied back to Medusa shards as well. So we scroll up here. This entire thing is actually called the Avengers Fitness Challenge. Now, keep in mind that there's going to be main milestones that you want to be going for, and I didn't get a chance to go through it yesterday, but if you want to take a look at the chart and kind of what you'll be getting for in this month, you can see to the far right that essentially it's going to be Medusa's free to play. Remember, there was also 15 shards of her that was completely free. You're able to catch that during the holiday break. So ideally, if you're building up Absolute Aid Force, if you're wanting to obviously get more shards of Medusa, you want to do well in the January event. Why am I bringing this up? Why does it matter? Well, it does look like there is a slight change that they've made to the format of these events now, and I'll break that down in the detail below, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. If Medusa shards are important to you, then you may want to be more locked into some of these events. Typically for myself, I use a combination of power cores and as well RNG, and I also don't prioritize war teams, so to me it's not a big deal, but obviously if this is important to you, then our focuses need to be prioritized, right? But a couple of key things before we show the math here and how free-to-play friendly this event is going to be. How to score points. You're going to be earning lucky coin currency from the campaign nodes. So once again, campaign energy. In addition to that, this is actually a Cosmic Crucible driven event. So you'll get the bulk from participating in Cosmic Crucible, and even more if you actually have Jean Grey unlocked. If you guys followed my earlier video, I use power cores to unlockers, so I'm going to be in a really good position with this event respectively. But for those of you that don't have her unlocked, that's unfortunately points that you may not be able to get for this event, hence why it's important for you to know where you want to land in this event at the end of the day. But the big rewards here for this one is going to be Miss Marvel Classics character shards. This is her free-to-play event, and on top of that, what you want to be paying attention to as well is the elastic band and the dumbbells. These tie back to the monthly event, and ultimately that will translate to your likelihood of finishing the event and obviously giving you Medusa shards. Now, the last thing I want to touch on real quickly before I show you the chart and breakdown for this event is that there's also a web milestone component that's always tied back to these events. Oh, sorry, I missed it. And this new energy that we're going to be using, or sorry, not new energy, this new item that we're going to be collecting is called the lucky coins, right? So you can see here, this is the web milestone component. You have to make sure you're logged into marvelstrikeforce.com with your account and going in each day during that duration of the 7 days that typically these events run for. And you must make sure that you're actually, claiming these. And you can see here, right? When you do get the lucky coins, that's going to be converted back to points that you get for the overall breakdown of this event. So now if we go back to the main screen here for the event breakdown, essentially that web milestone component will give you roughly 30,000 points, which is going to add up another sizable total. But you also want to be seeing and taking a look at what's in this chart that you'll be needing. So this is the main event chart, the main milestone that you're going to be following for the duration of the 7 days. The dumbbells, once again, adding back to the monthly event. So you want these dumbbells because they'll be giving you more chances of getting those Medusa shards for the unlock. But as you work your way top down, you'll see that there's Miss Marvel Classic shards actually sprinkled throughout the entire event. And it's actually really easy to hit. What they've done, and what I alluded to earlier, is that they've actually made it so that this monthly item is a little bit lower than what we typically expect. Usually it's the opposite. Usually they have more character shards before the monthly item, or sorry, the weekly item. But conversely, you can actually get Miss Marvel's Classics unlock here actually before the weekly item that's tied back to the monthly event. So you can see if I scroll all the way to the far left, milestone 13 at 120,000 points is going to get you the full 100 shards, whereas milestone 14 at 138,000 points is going to give you the elastic band. So it really depends then at the end of the day if you're focusing in on maximizing both, or you're just gunning for Miss Marvel Classic shards and not really giving a bother to Medusa for this first event. Remember, you don't necessarily need to complete every single one of these events that finish the monthly. Usually we have a little bit of wiggle room to actually miss 1 week's worth of events, so just something to keep in mind. And the bottom left here is the scoring, right? Remember what I said earlier, you're earning the stretch goal milestone points directly from the web milestone. And there were lucky coins actually in that web milestone, but they are specific here in the scoring. The lucky coin currency is only going to add points to your total if it's earned from campaign nodes. So that's a very important distinction to be had there. Make sure you're not confusing that. And then lastly, just look at how much points are going to be available when you're participating in Cosmic Crucible. You got 45,000 from just playing the mode. And if you use Immortal X-Men during Crucible, it's going to give you an extra 15,000, 3,000 points per character used each time. Lastly, if you have Jean Grey unlocked, if you've hoarded power cores, as I've recommended, free to play from my channel, and this is how I keep up with the game, hoarding, I'm going to easily get those 20,000 points now. But to make it simple, I'm not going to include that for my math because I do want to be fair to you guys. I can't assume that you're going to be hoarding extremely like I do in my highly engaged free-to-play account. So without further ado, this is the math, guys, and based on a few assumptions that we've kind of seen in the trends as well, right? Remember, stretch goals is a 7-day event, right? Campaign energy, from what we've seen for the past couple months, the average has been 4 points per. If this is higher, it's going to make the event easier, but the most common numerator that you've used for the calculation of these campaign points is usually 4 per. It's a pretty safe bet. And again, there's no power cores. My priority is always conserving my power core balances. I use that for character unlocks exclusively. So if you're doing as much as you can in your day-to-day and you're spending as much energy as you can with the free claims, it should get you close to 17,000 points over those 7 days. Crucible Battles is going to give you it's going to give you 45,000 points plus 15 for the Immortal X-Men usage. And again, Jean Grey, if you got her, that's an easy 20,000 points. If not, that's okay. We're not factoring that in. And then lastly, the web milestone giving us that 30,000 total, which brings us to a total here of 107,000, assuming that the points in the campaign are not higher than what we're assuming and predicting here. What does that translate to the milestones? Well, at milestone 12, at 74,000 points is going to get you already the 75 shards of Miss Marvel Classic. Chances are you'll probably already have 10, 20 shards from us just doing the slow drip method. So that should actually be more than enough to likely get you the unlock. And if not, maybe in the next week or so when these characters get added into the Strike Pass and the Battle Pass, right? Milestone 13, if you're able to hit this, 120,000 points, it's going to give you the full 100 shards of Miss Marvel Classic, guaranteeing the unlock, assuming you have 0 shards to begin with, which is unlikely, but again, it gives you that guaranteed chance of actually unlocking her. And then last but not least, if you are going for the Elastic Band at 138,000 points, milestone 14, that's what you'll be getting as part of the monthly. So it is very interesting because usually it's not this difficult to actually hit the weekly item that ties back to the monthly, but in this case, you can see here, even if I don't spend any cores and I do have Jean Grey, it's still only going to have us at 127,000 points, which is shy of the 138k mark. So I am secretly hoping that that the points are going to be higher for the campaign nodes, or there's going to be other ways, right? Obviously, the free claim usually is 500 points per day as well. There might be a bit more. I'm guessing that's kind of where it's going to be coming from. But overall, we should be able to hit the monthly with no issues. And again, I'm going to try not to use my power cores. But in the meantime, the good news is that this event is super easy. Many folks like yourselves will likely get the unlock here with Miss Marvel Classic. And on top of that, you can do it without actually having Jean Grey, and you can do it without using power cores. So that's the rundown, guys. A very, very easy event, completely free to play. And many of us are going to get the Miss Marvel Classic unlock. So hope this is helpful. Let me know what your guys' game plan is. Thank you for your time as always, and let me know if I missed anything, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.